for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
But the voice line is done by Carla Perez, Rita's human voice actor. Human voice actor as opposed to her alien voice actor. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. Happy Halloween! Okay, so in this case, the episode actually aired a week before Halloween, and this is coming out after Halloween. That's kind of appropriate if you think about it. If the episode can't be bothered to air as close to Halloween as possible, then why should my review? You might also be saying that I didn't dress up, but come on now, it's not like I wear this every day. My Orange Ranger videos reviewing outfit counts as a costume, right? Okay, to be serious, I did dress up for Halloween, even working a shift in that uniform. However, I haven't gotten the new clips for my lavalier microphone yet, and that Star Trek costume has nowhere for the microphone to attach to, so this is what you're getting. You may have already realized this, but I am keeping the Dino Fury ball a-rollin'. I figure the best way to handle getting all of these episodes at once is to just go ahead and review them all. It will make the off-season that much longer, but that just gives me time to catch up on the comics, toy reviews, and vlogs. That is, if I even beat the end of the season on Nickelodeon to getting all of my videos out. Just because a TV show does something groundbreaking doesn't mean they need to dwell on it. Yes, Izzy is dating a girl, but the forces of evil are still out there trying to capture the Sporix. And yes, by the way, as you can see by the trappings and everything else, this is the Halloween episode of Dino Fury, even though it aired on October 23rd when it could have just as easily aired on October 30th. I guess I don't feel the passionate anger about that I usually do, because going forward on Netflix, we're going to get all of the episodes of the season on one or maybe two dates, so it's not like the Halloween and Christmas episodes are going to line up anyway. Whatever the case, let's take a look at the 14th episode of Dino Fury, Old Foes.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon.
Right you. What he said was, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos.
Well, one thing I'll say for this episode, it certainly doesn't waste any time. At Area 62, a cloaked figure sneaks into the base and heads for the Sporix jukebox. But the villains get there just in time to stop them. Void Knight asks who could possibly be stupid enough to try and steal from him. The figure slowly turns and removes their cloak. And it's Lord Zedd. That's right, Lord Zedd. Now, this was another secret that wasn't terribly well kept, this time due to those international spoilers, but it is still quite the moment. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way right now. No, of course, Robert Axelrod was not able to voice Lord Zedd, having sadly passed away in 2019. Nobody was going to sound right in that role. Andrew Lang took on the unenviable task this time, having voiced Evox and later Venjix during Beast Morphers, and actor Stig Eldred did a voice role cameoing that in that villains team up during Beast Morphers as well. Zedd attacks, but then a creepy-looking monster steps in and tells him to stop. And he obeys. This monster's name is Reaghoul, R-E-A-G-H-O-U-L, and it's basically a parrot wearing a top hat with skeletons hanging all around it. This is how Lord Zedd was both revived and is still evil. Reaghoul explains that he revived Zedd from the time he was the most vile. But of course, Zedd needed to be controlled, so he used a compliance collar on him. Interesting. They revive two Sporix beasts, Brine Blast and Wolfgang, and by the way, thank you Ranger Wikia, there was not a chance of me remembering those names on my own, as a further demonstration of their power. Void Knight offers them a deal. If they can capture all of the Rangers and bring them to him, he will give them one of their Sporix. Meanwhile, at Buzz Blast, they're setting up for a Halloween dance. Okay, I guess that's a thing companies can do. The Rangers discuss things that scare them. Amelia's scared of clowns, Izzy is scared of zombies, etc. Also, it turns out Rapconian spiders have 16 legs and an eye on each knee. Someone draw it. Ollie, however, says his logical mind means he's not scared of anything. Should have dressed up as Mr. Spock for Halloween. Heck, they both wear blue. Amelia challenges him to walk down a haunted trail they'll make in the woods for him, and he's up to the challenge. However, as soon as he starts walking down that trail, Brine Blast appears in front of the Rangers. They morph, but Brine Blast asks them if they know what sleepy cuffs are.
Is that a type of ice cream?
Nope. Wolfgang, Regal, and Lord Zedd appear behind the Rangers and toss the sleepy cuffs on, which, as I'm sure you guessed, bind their hands and makes them sleepy. They realize that one Ranger is missing, and Regal orders the two Sporix beasts to go looking for him. Meanwhile, further down the trail, Ollie's not scared of anything. Mainly because the other Rangers went to Spirit Halloween on a clearance sale and didn't even bother to remove the price tag from a dropping skeleton. The monsters catch up and Ollie calls the Rangers to make sure this isn't part of the gag, but of course they don't answer. So, he morphs. Alone. That's right, heroes, we finally have Dino Fury's first solo morphing sequence, and it's Ollie. Interesting. Remembering the fight with Wolfgang, and by remembering I mean we watch a couple of clips from it, Ollie calls Solon to get another no howl drop. The doggy eats the lozenge, which is apparently a no howl drop. She's able to somehow teleport to Ollie immediately with another no howl drop, which neutralizes the howl. Now, there's something in Tokusatsu, a concept called flags, mainly pertaining to victory or defeat. It's something that Akiba Ranger played around with a lot. One is the concept that regenerated monsters are defeated very easily. That holds true here as Ollie single-handedly fights off and destroys both monsters. However, they revive instantly because Master Regal's regeneration energy is still flowing through them.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
But that's not enough for two Dino Keys, Spin and Elasto, and Ollie destroys both of the monsters. Again. He looks around for Solon and sees her hiding nearby, and when he goes over to her, she shows him Lord Zedd and Regal guarding the four Rangers. He recognizes Zedd as some kind of evil emperor and knows he's going to need a lot of power for this, so he asks Solon to go back to the base and send his Zord. However, she refuses, saying this is way too dangerous and Ollie needs to not charge in here, but that's exactly what he does.
Are you an idiot? Run that by me again. Are you an idiot?
However, Solon immediately leaps after him, grabbing Ollie and teleporting them both back to the base. He demands to know why, and she basically says that Lord Zedd would have vaporized him. They need information. And if you happen to notice the split emitter sitting behind Solon on a shelf, you might have seen where this is going. She grabs the giant color-coded USB that is the Ranger database that Mick left for them, and we get old MMPR clips. And heroes, get ready for me to rant about something that really doesn't matter. Seriously, this is why I started doing Just the Facts. So I have a shorter review where I don't rant for 2 or 3 paragraphs about something that was on screen for about 5 seconds and doesn't matter to the plot of the episode. For some reason, the clips we see to learn about Lord Zedd reference the MMPR episode Rangers Back in Time, when Lord Zedd used the Rock of Time to turn the Rangers into kids. We see Zedd, we see the Rangers in class, we see the Rangers get turned into kids. Great, a demonstration of Lord Zedd's power, etc. We then see the Ranger kids in the viewing globe as all of this is observed by Zordon and Alpha. Okay, fantastic. Where's my issue? Alpha speaks. Now, as I said, unfortunately, Robert Axelrod has passed away, so we can't have his voice for Lord Zedd. You know who hasn't passed away? Richard Horowitz, who voiced Alpha 5. I have no idea who they got to voice Alpha for these lines. It appears to be uncredited. Ranger Wikia doesn't have anything. But if hearing another voice come out of Lord Zedd was disturbing, this was nails on a chalkboard. Now, I am actually hesitant to complain about this because in researching this, I learned that famed Ranger voice actor and personal Twitter chat friend Campbell Cooley voiced Alpha on Operation Overdrive in Once a Ranger. So they may have gone back to the well for him on this, seeing as they just happen to have him around, and that would be a classic uncredited voice take. I mean, they didn't use a good take, I'll say that much. The line just comes off as really flat. Campbell, if it was you, I'm sorry. I think what bugs me the most about this is how unnecessary it is. Even later on in these clips, as they're explaining about Serpentera, and we see clips of that, we get a voice line from Jason, another uncredited actor, and it sounds just as bad. It's just not needed. It adds absolutely nothing and is not necessary to understand what's going on. And to make this script even longer, I now want to explain a decision that I've recently made about cutaway gags. You see, right in this spot, I was going to use JonTron's "I get it, I don't get it" gag, but I've recently decided to stop using any cutaway gags featuring him or referencing or supporting him in any way. You see, a couple years ago, there was a questionable possible racism incident around him, and just recently he shared some tweets which make it very clear that he is an anti-vaxxer, someone against the COVID-19 vaccine. Sadly, he's just made very clear that he is not the type of person that is worthy of support or attention. Let's see if I found a good replacement gag, shall we?
I don't get it.
Okay, Ollie begins to ask, how did the Power Rangers defeat Lord Zedd? Well, of course they didn't. We get clips from Countdown to Destruction, and yes, that means we get a voice line from Zordon. And let me tell you something right now. I don't know who they got to record that line, but it was actually pretty good. I would have believed that it was a clip from the episode with just a little bit of extra reverb, so credit where it's due. We see footage of Rita and Zedd getting purified, and yes, we get a voice line from Rita, but it's Carla Perez, Rita's human actress, so that's not that bad. And it's the same thing for Zedd, whose human voice actor then and now is Steve Blum. When the two discuss how strange it was that Lord Zedd was taking orders, Ollie remembers seeing something on Zedd's neck and uses the database to look up compliance collars, which are explained through footage from Beast Morphers when Ryjack explained them to those Rangers. And of course, that being a Hasbro season, it's regular show audio with all the voices of the regular actors, etc., etc. So, blah blah, Ollie heads back to the Rangers and turns his sword into a dino dagger. Oh good, those useless things are back. He tells Zedd that he's going to show him a trick that he learned from an old-timer in the Australian outback. An Albert Smith reference? Except Albert lives in New Zealand, not Australia. The episode he's in is actually called World Famous in New Zealand. So...
Oh, you almost had it.
Ollie heaves his mighty dino dagger and misses. Jeez Louise, the dino daggers suck. But no, of course, the Australians are known for their boomerangs. Of course, a boomerang flies back on its path because it's curved. A dino dagger is straight. But anyway, the dagger flies back around and hits Zedd in the back of the neck, taking the compliance collar off and freeing Lord Zedd. Freeing Lord Zedd.
I don't think that's a good idea!
Zedd is ready to squeeze every last drop of magic out of Regal, his exact words, but Regal retreats with Mucus. The two Sporix beasts attack Lord Zedd, because they're idiots, while Ollie wakes up and frees the other Rangers. They see what's going on, quickly put together that of the Sporix beast and Lord Zedd is by far the bigger threat, and realize they're going to have to help the Sporix beast.
What did you say?
So they do, and eventually land enough hits to actually drive Zedd back. He says they're lucky that he doesn't have his staff, and when he finds it, he's coming back to wipe them all out. The Sporix beast, who, by the way, were revived by Regal again, I realized I forgot to mention that part, dropped this alliance that they technically never agreed to in the first place, growing. The Rangers call their Zord, form Blade Formation on the Megazord because it's an Ollie Focus episode, and quickly take the two monsters out. Back at Area 62, Void Knight is actually incredibly intelligent about this. Regal failed, but he has an incredibly useful power. So for now, it's a pair of sleepy cuffs and a comfy jail cell until he's needed for another nostalgic comeback. Mucus guesses that Lord Zedd must be halfway across the universe by now, and Void Knight sure hopes that he won't come back. He's not, he will, and I'm not even having to guess about that. At the base, the Rangers show off their costumes to Solon. Ollie is a Nasada astronaut, Amelia is a vampire, Izzy is a leprechaun, get it, because green. Javi is a zombie park warden to both honor his father and freak out his sister, and Zato is a knight, an Earth Knight in a real set of metal knight armor. And oh yeah, Ollie is scared of one thing, losing his friends. Aww. Let's take the sweetness of that moment and put it on this side, and all of your Halloween trick-or-treat candy on this side, and balance the scales. Episode 14, Old Foes. Pros, Zedd's return is handled well. Ollie's moral is actually pretty good, and a holiday special with meaning. Cons, this episode is nostalgia obsessed. Void Knight gets downplayed, and the vocal disconnects. I can't blame them for nothing much happening here, since it's clear this is a necessary episode for future plot. So Old Foes gets 3 skulls out of 5. What I said before giving the score is really the biggest takeaway from this episode. This episode really isn't even about itself, telling its own story. It's about putting Lord Zedd into the greater plot of Dino Fury. But in that sense, it gives this Halloween special a lot more meaning than they usually get. Those don't usually have this kind of ongoing plot meaning. This episode is establishing a recurring villain for this season, possibly the main villain for next season, and even maybe the direction of the franchise going forward after Dino Fury. Nobody knows what the future may show, but forward we look and forward we go. We're already getting near to the end of Dino Fury's first season. And you know something? We still haven't met this team's 6th Ranger. Why am I suddenly bringing that up though? Don't worry about it. Let's take a peek at the 15th episode of Dino Fury, Storm Surge. Ollie agrees, oh forget it. Ollie agrees to help Javi with a story, but when his desire for new tech is exploited by the villains, he learns a lesson about priorities. That is going to do it for this Halloween Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching, and I hope you had a happy and safe Halloween, trick-or-treating, fall, celebrating, etc., etc. Now that the video's over, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to lend any support to the channel that isn't Patreon or Ko-fi, check out my Teespring store and get yourself some sweet Orange Ranger merchandise. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. And let's Lord Zedd, having voiced Venjix and later Evox, except I got those backwards. This is how Lord Zedd came back and was revived and everything. Both revived and evil. He goes over to her and she shows him Lord Zedd, Regal, guarding the... and uses the database to look up the compliance... This is what happens when you ad-lib. So, blah, blah, blah. Ollie heads back to the Rangers and looks at the computer. He sells Ted, except Albert lives in New Zealand? God dang it. I can't blame them for nothing much happening here, since it's clear this is necessary.